And the reason why I chose tagine is because I think there's a lot of love for tagine, but also a lot of misconceptions. So that's why I thought it would be interesting to mention a few things to maybe so people can learn a few things about tagine. So I chose the tagine because I think when people think of Moroccan cuisine, they think of tagine. So I thought it would be interesting to talk about that. But before that, I would like to say that in Morocco, we have so many different kinds of foods and lots of starters, in the same way that in the Levant, I know you have so many starters like warm salads and cold ones. We have similar things in Morocco. And we have our stews, which we call tagine. So, and the reason why I chose tagine is because I think there's a lot of love for tagine, but also a lot of misconceptions. So that's why I thought it would be interesting to mention a few things to maybe so people can learn a few things about tagine. So the tagine is the vessel in which we cook the stew, and the name of the stew, the dish, is also tagine, so it shares the same name. Another thing that I think is important to say about tagine is a question that I get a lot is, can I make a tagine if I don't have a conical pot? Yes, definitely. Nowadays, modern Moroccan make their tagines most of the time in pressure cooker because they don't have time to cook a tagine for 3 to 4 hours, because that's how it should be done if you do it in a clay pot. So you can make a tagine in a regular pot, in an iron cast pot, in any dish that can allow you to cook something, pretty much. And another thing that I would like to say about tagine is the fact that in Morocco, we have certain rules when it comes to tagines. And what I see very often, and it's not something that bothers me at all, is that sometimes someone's going to make a stew and then they're going to add apricots and nuts or dates to it, and then, call it a tagine, which is absolutely fine. I do not mind that. I think it's great. It's a way for people to feel closer to Morocco. But it's also important to know that in Morocco, we don't make our tagines randomly. We do certain things in certain ways. For instance, we have mqalli, which is the one that you can see on the picture now. And we make it with ground turmeric, ground ginger, garlic, and onions. And within mqalli, we have different kinds of mqalli also. We have muhammar, which is made with paprika and cumin, msharmal, and so forth and so on. And the reason why I say that is because I think it's so fascinating when you try and understand this sort of codification of tagines, and there's so much to learn about that. So I think that's all I wanted to say.
So I have a question. You said there are certain things that go together, right? Certain classic dishes.
Yeah.
What are there like 3, 4, 5 classic tagines that are like the staples that every self-respecting restaurant needs to have?
So there's a chicken one that is mqalli, the chicken mqalli that's often served with olives and preserved lemon. Then there's the one you can see on the picture that's lamb with prunes, and it's also mqalli. But as for instance, you will never see prunes and olives in a traditional Moroccan tagine. We would never mix olives and tagines, olives and prunes. Another one is the fish tagine msharmal. We also have the tagine in tomato sauce that we usually serve with eggs and meatballs, that people often call shakshuka. But in Morocco, we don't actually have the word shakshuka. We do make a tagine with tomato sauce, and then at the end, when the sauce is cooked, we crack some eggs and some meatballs, let them cook and serve it. But a Moroccan will never call it a shakshuka. They will call it tagine ديال الكفتة بالمطيشة, which is tagine with tomato sauce and kefta. Yes.